Picture this. You're stopped at a red light, minding your own business, and someone plows right into the back of you. 0% your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. And then your own insurance company calls you and they say, well, go ahead and run this through your own coverage. And you're thinking, wait a minute, why should I use my own insurance? He's the one who hit me. And right behind that thought comes the fear that stops almost everybody. If I use my own coverage, my rates are going to go up. So you tell them no, you refuse to use your own coverage. And here's what I want you to know today. In Washington, that fear is mostly wrong. And saying no to your own insurance coverage can actually cost you money. So let's get into it. Welcome back. I'm Rick Park.
I'm Mallorie. And today we're breaking down the two coverages that people are most afraid to use and the two that usually put money back in your pocket the fastest. That's PIP and UM or UIM. And one quick thing before we start, this is about general Washington law. It's not legal advice about your specific case. So if you've been hurt, talk to a lawyer about your actual situation. Okay, let's define the terms because the names can sound scarier than they actually are. The first one is PIP. That stands for Personal Injury Protection. PIP is what's called no fault coverage. What that means is it pays your medical bills, part of your lost wages, and a few other expenses, no matter who caused the crash. If you were in a car crash and you were injured, PIP will pay. And here's the part that most people don't realize. In Washington, your insurer has to offer you at least $10,000 of PIP. You have it automatically. The only way you wouldn't have it is if you signed a form saying you didn't want it. So if you never signed a form like that, you probably have PIP right now and you have no idea.
Yeah, and the second coverage is UIM, Underinsured Motorist coverage. This is the one that catches you when the person who hit you either has no insurance or doesn't have enough insurance to cover what they did to you. And in Washington, that happens constantly because the driver who hit you might only be carrying the bare minimum policy, which is $25,000. That's one ambulance ride and maybe an MRI, and that $25,000 is gone. So who pays for the rest? That's what UIM is for. It's the coverage that actually protects you when the other guy is underprepared. So let's hit the big myth head on, the one that stops people cold. If I use my own coverage, my rates go up. And here's what Washington law actually says. Your insurer cannot cancel you, refuse to renew you, deny you, or raise your rate because of an accident on your driving record, unless you were the one determined to be at fault. And that's the law. It's RCW 46.52.130. And I'm going to pull that up so we can take a peek at that together. So right here, you can see this RCW, and you can pull this up right on the internet. You can just type it in, RCW 46.52.130, and it'll pull up the site here. And all the RCWs are on the internet. And this one, if you look at it, it's kind of confusing because it starts out with 1 right here, and then here's 2, and there's a bunch of subcategories after that. And then you look at E, which is insurance carriers, and then under E, if you look down to the Roman numeral 3, what it says is any policy of insurance may not be canceled, renewed, denied, or have the rate increased unless the policyholder was determined to be at fault. So there's the law right there that says that. So if somebody rear ends you at a red light, and that's about not as fault as it gets, that accident is not supposed to move your premium because you weren't at fault.
Yeah, and I want to be straight about how that really works, right? Because the wording does matter here. This law, as you can see in the code, is tied to two things. One, an accident on your record, and two, you not being at fault. So what I would tell you is your rates shouldn't go up, not that they can't, because the whole protection depends on the fault finding being correct. And that, the finding of who's at fault, is exactly what the insurance company likes to fight about. Making sure that call is right is honestly half of what we as lawyers do.
Yeah, and here's the twist that most people actually miss. Sometimes your own insurer actually wants you to use your PIP, and that's a good thing for you because PIP pays fast, often within weeks. Your treatment keeps going, your doctors keep getting paid, while the claim against the other driver plays out, and that sometimes can take months or even years.
Now let's talk about the feeling underneath all of this. It's not fair that I have to use mine. And I'll be honest, I get it. It feels backwards. But here's how I would reframe it. You already paid for this coverage, right? Every single month, you sent in a premium for PIP and for UIM if you have it on your policy. And you didn't buy it for the days when nothing goes wrong. You bought it for this day when something did go wrong.
That's right. You paid for the umbrella every single month. Now the storm's here. We got to use that umbrella. And using your own PIP, it doesn't let the driver off the hook. You could still go after them for everything else, the pain, the suffering, everything else. PIP just pays first. It doesn't replace your claim against the person who actually hurt you.
And there's another thing that's important to hear because nobody likes to be surprised later. It's called subrogation or the PIP lien. So here's what that means in plain English. If your PIP pays your bills and you later recover money from the outfelt driver, your PIP company can be paid back out of that. So you're not paid twice for the same bill. But, and this is the important part, in Washington, that payback gets reduced by your share of attorney fees. So a good lawyer actually shrinks what you have to pay back. So don't let that word lien scare you away from free, fast medical coverage that PIP can give you.
Yeah. And I want to come back to UIM just for a second because it's the coverage nobody thinks about until it's only the only thing standing between you and a stack of unpaid bills. And remember, the other driver might only be carrying $25,000. Oftentimes that's the case. And a serious injury, it blows past that instantly. And without UIM, once that small policy is tapped out, there might be nobody left to pay you, even though you didn't do anything wrong.
And here's an advantage we have in Washington that most people have never heard of. UIM coverage actually stacks in our state. So you might be able to combine the limits across your vehicles or policies, which could mean a lot more money available to you than the single number on your policy. So here's your homework. Pause this video, pull up your declarations page, and find your UM or UIM number. And if that says $25,000, we should talk.
Yeah. So if you just got hit and your own insurer is telling you to use your PIP, here's what you actually need to walk away with. Number one, an accident that wasn't your fault is not supposed to raise your rates. That's protected under the law we just saw, RCW 46.52.130. The fight that matters is making sure the fault is called correctly.
Yeah, and number two, use your PIP. It pays your medical bills fast, no matter who was at fault, and it does not stop you from going after the driver who hurt you.
Number three, know your limit before you ever need it. Pull that declarations page tonight. The minimum the other driver carries probably not enough to protect you.
And number four, don't sign away your PIP just to shave a few dollars off of your premium if you can avoid it. That's coverage that protects you, no matter who is at fault.
If this cleared something up for you, hit subscribe. We do one of these every week. All Washington law, all in plain English.
And if you've been in a crash and your insurance company is pressuring you, or you're just staring at your policy trying to figure out what any of it means, call a lawyer. Feel free to call us. We do free consultations and we'll tell you whether you even need a lawyer.
Use the umbrella, folks.